and kind of going through things during a week this season. What's it like?
Yeah, you just take it one day at a time, honestly. I think when we came in the spring, having the opportunity to get reps with the ones has helped me kind of in this transition. But again, we're just taking it day by day. We'll see how Jay feels throughout the week. But yeah, like you said, nothing new to me.
When you went back and watched the film, what did you want to build on this week specifically?
Well, I think for us, I thought the entire group executed well. It's never easy when the starting quarterback goes down, so it's really a collective effort from everybody to step their games up, and our guys unfazed. And going into this week, just trying to prepare and be ready to go if I am called upon. But I think our guys do a great job of helping that transition.
You've obviously been through some of this before with Jayden's going through, so what kind of things have you talked to him about to just help him through this period?
I think first and foremost, just being smart and understanding what's most important. I think early on in my career, you get very worked up about, I got to play this week. Sometimes it's focusing on your health in the long term. So if it gets to that point and he doesn't feel like he's ready to roll, I'm here to help kind of that. And I want him to understand that and feel comfortable with that. And also I think it's us as a quarterback room to make sure that, if he's not getting the amount of reps that he usually gets through the week, helping him get those reps in the quarterback room, helping him manage that so that if his number is called and he is playing on Sunday, that he's ready to roll too. So, I think it's just a collective group. It's one of those things that happens in the course of a regular season, and we just all are going to work together to make sure that whoever is playing on Sunday is successful.
And then for yourself, when you went back and watched the film, like what did you feel best about what you were able to show, given you hadn't had a ton of work?
Well, I really believe that our guys made my job pretty easy. Those guys were finding zones, getting open, creating. I think has been huge for us. So really, for me, I just try to play my game. I playing on time, but also having opportunities to extend and create plays. That makes it tough on a defense. So the more that I can balance that out and play within that realm, I think will be fun.
Obviously, you've gone through this before, as everybody else said, but when you're the number two versus the number one, obviously the week is different. Like, you wouldn't be talking to us otherwise. What else is different in a course of a week or even on Sunday just because of the depth chart change possibly?
I think you said it best. It's just little things, right? It's sitting here talking to you guys. Maybe it's a question or I get maybe 5 minutes a week with somebody, whereas now, there's a kind of specific moment. So those things are a little different in the routine. But for the most part, I just try to focus on what my weekly routine is, continue to do that, and let kind of everything else fall into place and be ready to play on Sunday.
And, you've come in and, talk about helping Jayden, and it's clear you guys have had a good relationship, and I'm sure when you came here you probably had a sense this may be how it goes. I assume that you got to be kind of thrilled to possibly get in there and play. How exciting do you think it's going to be if you do actually are out there?
Yeah, I think looking back on the game, just to get the opportunity to play was fun, was exciting. If my name is called again, that's just kind of how I'm going to approach it. Throughout my career, I've put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect, and I think I play my best when I'm enjoying it and having fun. So that's kind of how I've approached it maybe the last couple years, and whatever happens, happens. But I think for the most part, it's just focusing on what I can control and not worrying about everything else.
This is for Jayden's first injury as a pro. How has he approached missing a big chunk of that game Sunday, the uncertainty, this weekend? How's he just come to work this week?
Oh, he's handled it unbelievably. I think every test that he's gotten, he's passed with flying colors, right? And this is no different. He's in here early. He's in here the whole time just getting treatment. He's doing his best to give himself a shot to play. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. There's a lot of guys that I've been around through the course of my career where I don't feel great. I might just kind of take the week off. But he's very engaged in this. He's very invested. And the way he's approached it is very much similar to how he's approached week by week. And I think it's a lot of credit to him and who he is. And again, it's going to take all of us in the quarterback room to make sure whatever or whoever it is ready to roll.
If you are playing Sunday, bright spot of the Bears is their defense, or one of their bright spots. What do they do well?
Very sound. There's a couple guys that I've played throughout my career that are really good players. Kyler Gordon is unbelievable. Probably one of the better positional slot defenders in the league. I've got a lot of respect for Kevin Byard, somebody that I played with for a long time. Very rangy guy, but also comes in the box and makes a bunch of tackles. And then obviously Sweat, who's played here. Just a tremendous athlete, somebody that really can affect the game by the way he pass rushes. So, at every kind of level of the defense, they've got guys. It's going to be a challenge. But I think for us, again, it's about us. It's about focusing on what we do. And, we're excited for the challenge this Sunday and can't wait to see what it looks like.
Obviously, the offensive system isn't going to change if Jayden isn't able to play and you're starting. But Jayden has mentioned the conversations with Cliff Kingsbury where he'll put in certain concepts that Jayden prefers. Have you had any conversations with Cliff like that about, all right, this is a concept that I like that you guys might work towards on Sunday?
Yes, I think that's what's really unique with Cliff is he sits down regardless of the starter or kind of down the line, and he wants to know what you like, how you see it. If you don't like this play, we'll get it out, that type of thing. And it's regardless if you're the starter or not, which I think is very unique. And that gives whoever is playing the ultimate confidence to just go out there and play because he's going to call the game. And I really believe that's how it was for me on Sunday. And when I was out there and he's calling it, he had such a good feel of what I liked and just kind of let me play. So it's a lot of credit to him and the staff for making sure that whoever is out there, they're playing with confidence.
Hey, Marcus. You all the quarterbacks seem like they're pretty close. I mean, as far as like collaboration in terms of like finding the right strategy for each game, like what's that like between you, Jayden, Jeff, and Sam?
Well, really, it comes down to just, hey, how are you guys seeing it? There might be a way that Cliff and Tavita and Blau want the play to, or is designed to do, but we may see it a little differently, and just being able to communicate that across the board. And then allowing whoever is playing, with Jay, just to kind of feel comfortable with what he's seeing. So it's a collaborative effort in order to make sure that Jay's feeling comfortable with what he's seeing. And then from there, if he's like, I don't really like it, then Cliff and those guys are able to just kind of axe it out and move on. So there's not like a rigid, hey, this is what we're going to do. It's very flexible. It's very collaborative, and I really believe that's why whoever's in there has played well.
And you mentioned that you spent a lot of your career trying to focus on being perfect and everything. Was there a moment in your career where you kind of let that go a little bit and you, as you said, just kind of go out there and just have fun?
Man, it's honestly been the last like 6 months, and it's a credit to this staff, and it's just enjoyable. It's a fun atmosphere to come into, but it's very much like, hey, do what you do. You don't have to be Jayden. You don't have to be Jeff. You don't have to be anybody. You just be you and play your way, and we'll find ways to make it work. So that's really, for me, kind of a unique situation that maybe I haven't been accustomed to. So I've really enjoyed it and just had fun playing in this system.
A couple more. In 2015, you guys played the Bucs with Jameis, who was the number 1 pick. Obviously, you were the number 2 pick. Was it tough to not make it a bigger game than it was, considering that you were playing, the guy that picked in front of you? And I guess as you look ahead to this one for Jayden, is there, some advice or anything that you're going to kind of try and drill into him as you lead up to this potential 1 versus 2 matchup?
I mean, it really means nothing. I was very naive early on in my career, and I was more just making sure guys were lining up right. I knew what the play was. I had the cadence on the right way. It's just little things like that. So I wasn't really focused on what that looked like. And I think Jayden does a great job of kind of always being present. That's very unique for somebody his age. I think he's very much about like the process and finding ways to get better, regardless of what the circumstance or situation is throughout the week. So I got to give credit to him for that, because I know for me, early on in my career, I was very much just trying to like survive. I was just kind of treading water. So it's kind of cool to see a young guy be able to handle that.
You mentioned like early in your career wanting to play every week, just like I gotta play, and then shifting to long term. When did your mindset shift and why?
It really, it was probably when I was with the Raiders, honestly, and being around Derek and understanding kind of durability. When I got there with Derek, I think he had a consecutive start streak, and it was very much about like how he was taking care of his body day to day. When you're young and you're just kind of going out there, you don't even really think about those types of things. So for me, like I never, like if someone was kind of sore, I was like, I'm okay, I can kind of manage it. Whereas like Derek was very adamant about like I got to make sure I feel great. So being around him, I kind of took that and learned from it, and just making sure that at the end of the day, when you're out there, you're trying to perform your best, not only for yourself but for your guys. And you don't want to be the guy that kind of hampers it because you're trying to just manage an injury or manage something. So learning that kind of later on in my career, I think it's important because it means a lot to these guys day in and day out, and you don't want to be kind of the guy that's holding people back.
When we were talking with Zach Ertz after Sunday, he kind of mentioned he was so excited to see you play in this system because you were able to do stuff that maybe you really haven't had in any of your other stops in the league. I guess, do you kind of agree with that this system best fits your skill set versus your other stops, or kind of what do you think about that?
That's up for you guys to debate. I mean, I really believe throughout my journey, I've learned so much about offensive football because of the amount of systems I've been in. So regardless if I felt I was suited for one or the other, I'm just very fortunate to be able to experience all those things and to have that kind of knowledge because I think it's really helped me become a better player. I really enjoy this system. It's a lot of fun to play in. And is it best suited for me? I don't know, But I do enjoy just kind of going out there and playing the way that we play. And I got to give a lot of credit to Cliff and those guys because they really make us feel very comfortable and confident at the position. And it's been enjoyable for me.
Appreciate it, Marcus. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.